faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman!
Oh, Superman is what I can do. Clark is who I am.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
You're going to end up fighting every elected official in this country.
Well, Lois, the truth is I'm actually Superman in disguise, and I only pretend to be a journalist in order to hear about disasters as they happen and then squeeze you out of the byline.
You're a sick man, Kent.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to My Summer with Superman, the internet's only Superman podcast. I'm your super host, Jacob DeNoble.
And I'm your other super host, Chris Haley.
And we are back with Superman Night Live.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun thing. We won't be able to get to it all today. We'll probably have to keep spreading this out throughout the rest of the show. But my buddy Daniel Feltz, who you may have heard previously on the show with questions that he has sent in, or just from things I've brought up about him, he has put in an extraordinary amount of work. And for legal reasons, I won't say quite how much work he's done, but he has definitely made this very easy for us. And he did the research work of finding every time that there was a Superman sketch in Saturday Night Live's 50-year history. And if it sounds like this is going really well, it's definitely not because we've already practiced it. But Dan did a lot of work for us finding, and it's funny because as having the list of all the sketches, it's both more and less than I thought it was going to be out of 50 years of Saturday Night Live.
I feel like you can tell when there are Superman fans on the writing staff because the Superman sketch appearances are like clustered in like 1 to 2 years, and then there'll be a huge gap with nothing.
I think you can tell too, like in the what the writing is like. You can tell that there's like, especially in these like first two early ones, it's like, oh, there's definitely some comic nerds on this writing staff just for like how specific they are about some of the things. It's like, oh, this is not just from the movies. This is, there's more to it than this. But Dan, we are very appreciative to you for doing all this hard work and making it so easy for us. And so we're going to talk about the first 3 sketches, and we'll put where available. We'll put links in the show notes for you can watch these sketches if you want. If you
I think
haven't,
they're all on Peacock.
Okay,
probably.
Okay,
so
but a bunch of them are also on YouTube, so we'll put those links in. I mean, but it was funny to me, like that there were some of these that I had never seen before. Some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this since I was a little kid. Yeah. Or it was like such a highlight of the Saturday Night Live reruns on Nick at Night or whatever, or on E, when there would be one of these old sketches that was somehow, I was so desperate for Superman related anything. Just to see these characters in real life. But yeah, it's some of them are, I think I'm a little more aware now of why they are not ones I have seen a bunch of times, or why they perhaps are not as freely available on YouTube, or And it's funny because when like especially with this first one we're going to talk about, that it's the kind of thing where it's like, well, I bet there's probably a good 20 years there where that was just very funny, you know. And
I'll be honest, it's my favorite out of all the sketches. And I've watched more than just these. I think I'm like 7 in, and it's still my favorite one so far.
But you know, it has a different feel now for some reason. But
we'll get more into that. Chris, what is your SNL backstory? If this was episode 1 of My Summer with SNL, what are we talking about? Where do you come to this franchise with?
You know, I think it's one of those things. It's because it's always been around, for me at least. And I think it's one of those things where there was several generations of young people where it's like, if you're a kid that's even mildly interested in comedy or stuff like that, it becomes it was like a real cultural touchstone thing for, not so much now. I don't think I'm sure there's no kids worried about that are just starting to learn about comedy that care about Saturday Night Live probably, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. I know the kid at my house is not interested in Saturday Night Live. So, like I was when I was 13. Yeah. But yeah, you know, it was just one of those things where it was like, and thankfully I was young at an age where there were, and started being interested in comedy stuff at an age when it was a good time for Saturday Night Live. There was good people on there.
Did you come to it through the like cast that was current at the time, or did you come to it through reruns on those other places?
It's hard to say.
Originally, and
it
then
was probably
like,
a little bit of both, and it was like, of course,
stuff.
when you're seeing the reruns. Yeah, I think with like the reruns, I was starting to see those on things, and because like a lot of the people in the reruns were now more famous people. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, oh, there's the Ghostbusters. There, you know, like. Yeah. So there was some of that, but I think it was also like I was in the time period where even when I wasn't old enough to be watching it yet, or like wasn't even old enough to be staying up late enough to be watching it, there was still it was still in the cultural kind of conversation of like what other kids would be talking about. You know, when there were kids whose parents did let them stay up late and watch things that. You know, or like the preacher at the church I went to when I was a kid, who was like, who wanted to do like impressions of someone's impression of somebody else, you know, where he's like doing like Saturday Night Live characters version of somebody from like the preachers that really wanted to be stand-ups, but didn't work out. So now they're doing that.
I'm just picturing him doing Dana Carvey doing George H.W. Bush.
Oh yeah, that kind of thing, you know, or like doing impressions of the church lady, or you know, doing impressions of Bill Clinton, all that kind of stuff. You know, and then there was like that period in like the early mid 90s where SNL was like a very dominant force in pop culture, to the point where they were bringing back old, you know, that they made a Coneheads movie, that like Wayne's World was so popular they made a Coneheads movie.
Where do you land on the Coneheads movie?
I can't help but have a lot of I'm very charmed by it.
I think it fucking rules.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in a very sweet spot for me, of like where I was just getting old enough to where it's like I'm paying attention to things like Saturday Night Live and being interested in movies, and it's like it's got stop motion monsters in it, like it's got cool, and there was like memorable bits in it, and I was like, okay, I know that this is from Saturday Night Live, even though I was not really familiar with the Coneheads sketches themselves. Yeah. But speaking of it, and this is not at all related to where we need to be going with our conversation, but have you ever seen the pilot they did for the Coneheads animated series?
Yes.
Okay. We're not going to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. But
Dan Aykroyd is a man with very particular special interests.
Yeah.
And he got lucky exactly twice that those just happened to like connect with a wider audience. Like, yeah, he is a man who loves the blues and ghosts. Mm-hmm. And just those two times, and no other time has like anything he's been interested in connected with people.
That's wild though, that they get that many. He'd get a not only they tried to make a cartoon out of it, which is wild, but then that they were like, yeah, this is the thing we've got to bring back from all of those characters in the past. This is, I mean, and I guess
after Wayne's World, I guarantee Aykroyd was knocking on the door saying, Coneheads have got to I do collage in my spare time, and so I just collect old magazines constantly. Yeah. And there's one with a Guess ad with Dan Aykroyd in the Coneheads getup, wearing like Guess jeans, and I'm just like,
I want to see this.
There was a fucking world where we had that as like a thing we were just doing is just nuts to me.
So that was my thing, where I was like, I was right there at the point where it seemed like Saturday Night Live had a lot of cultural relevance, where
Yeah.
it was like, not just from the comedy aspect, but they were also like, they were really kind of showcasing like bands that were about to hit big.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where it's like the world would kind of get their first really good look at some band on Saturday Night Live, and then that's off to the races. So yeah, I mean, that's probably where. What about you?
So for me, I came to it. It's funny. My like SNL era is probably the same as yours, but I came to it through the reruns on Comedy Central.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So every day, like summer vacation for me, like ages 10 through like 16, noon was 2 back-to-back SNL reruns with a Kids in the Hall in between them.
Oh man.
And it was just like the high, and they would run through it. It was like 89 through like maybe 2001 they would run, which was just like banger, 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 and then like starts to drop off at the end there.
Yeah.
The Will Ferrell era, I think it's a little too into recurring character. I think they were trying to find the next Wayne's World too many times there.
Yeah.
I think somebody did like a count of how many cheerleader sketches they did, and it's like 50.
They really wanted that to happen. I mean, to be fair, there was definitely, I remember there being people that absolutely loved that.
Yeah. So
same deal with that like, Night at the Roxbury guys, like those sketches where it's like, the whole thing is like, what if there are two people who are just kind of weird and it gives a good, yeah. Or, well, I mean, like both them and the cheerleader, they're just like, they're a little bit, I mean, it's like Tim Robinson stuff where it's like, what if there was a weird person in the normal world?
Yeah.
But to the point where I think probably what you'd see with that is the idea that it's like, oh, these are sketches that are really easy to figure out a way to integrate the host into.
Mm-hmm.
And they're popular, so the host is like, I want to do one of the ones that everybody's going to be talking about.
Yeah. The host integration is something I want to talk about throughout all
30-year-old conjecture, I don't know, on Saturday Night
Live. But like, so around then, I also started to watch it live because, I was getting to be like 12, 13. I'm staying up late on weekends. And that was also around the time they started releasing the DVD sets.
Oh, yeah.
So I got, I think, the first 3 seasons on DVD and like would watch those just nonstop. And like, I feel like such an old man when I'm like, man, that original cat, like, it's not even just the cat, like, it's just the overall vibe of the show was just so different. It feels genuinely countercultural in a way that it can't when it becomes like a part of the culture. Yeah. And like
very
the Albert
flying
Brooks
by the seat
videos,
of their pants.
It's
where they're just trying stuff. Where they got the Muppets in there, or Jim Henson doing weird stuff, and they're just trying all kinds of things.
Yeah,
there's a whole like, I can't remember if it's like a documentary or if it was just like a special or what the deal was, but it's like about the first 5 years of Saturday Night Live. I think I literally think it's just called The First 5 Years.
Did they make that like this year for the 50th anniversary?
No, this is
okay.
This is like probably decades old at this point. This probably came out in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, something. But it was pretty fascinating just seeing like how, and that movie came out last year that was like the what was the name of that movie?
Live from New York. That's a guess. That's not right.
Yeah, that's what my guess would have been. But I was like,
Jason Reitman. Let's just look at Jason Reitman's IMDb. Saturday Night. It's called Saturday Night, which was the name of the show at that point.
Which I haven't seen that. I've heard some good things, some middling things. I wanted it to be good. There's a bunch of people I like in it. So, but yeah, it definitely seems like the early years you can't get back to that kind of revolutionary, groundbreaking, counterculture kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. My wife, she does improv, and like when we started dating, I'm not gonna say she was like a big SNL fan, but like watched it the current era in a way that I just had not. So she was like, oh, here are the good sketches from like the last 8 years of Saturday Night Live. So that was just kind of a fun, like, I got to skip
you've got a
all
good
of
curator on board.
Yeah, I got to skip all of the nonsense, just get the good stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with Kyle Mooney and like I had never heard of like any of those people.
I love Kyle Mooney, man.
Yeah, it was great. That's how I found out about Beck Bennett. I had not heard of Beck Bennett until,
and that's how
Danielle
we bring it back to
introduced me
Superman.
Yes, Superman. So, our first 2 sketches are from season 4,
which is wild.
This is 1979.
So you know that Superman is so still in the zeitgeist. Yeah,
and that'll lead more into, I guess, our next one, which is 1980. But yeah, so 1979. Michael Palin is the host, and the sketch is just called mysteriously, "What If?"
And I wonder if does it predate the Marvel comic of the same name?
Maybe by a hair. Because let's see here. What If Marvel Comics?
Because it's also, I don't think that this is like the first
77. Okay, so this is post What If.
We don't know because this. I don't think this was like the first edition of this sketch.
Yeah.
Necessarily. This is season 4, episode 10 from 1979.
Michael Palin is our host, and
I think the Doobie Brothers are the musical guest.
Yeah, the Doobie Brothers are the musical guest. They performed "What a Fool Believes" and "Taking It to the Streets."
Oh wow! I'm looking forward to watching that.
There's a Mr. Bill sketch on here. When I was a kid, my mom talked up Mr. Bill so hard. Like, she was like, it's the funniest thing you'll ever see. And then when Netflix was new and like still sending DVDs, we were like, let's get a Best of Mr. Bill DVD. Right. And we were watching it, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. It was the 70s. I don't know what to tell.
It was much funnier back then.
Do you remember when Pizza Hut had their own Mr. Bill?
Absolutely, yes. It's also like how Nickelodeon had their own Mr. Bill kind of too, with Stick Stickly, where it was like the same kind of deal. I love
Stick Stickly.
Yeah, but he didn't get like terrorized like Mr. Bill. And what was the Pizza Hut guy's name? Was it Pizza Head or something like that?
Yeah, Pizza Head.
Yeah,
did they get the Mr. Bill guys for that?
I think that they had to. Like, otherwise there's a lawsuit coming.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, even like as a little kid, I had such a desperate need for fairness, and like, which really is like, I guess would be a strong sense of justice.
Yeah.
Perhaps from all the Superman stuff I was taking in, to where it was like, anytime there was something like that, I couldn't accept stuff like that as being funny. Yeah. As a little kid, because I was like so outraged at the injustice of it. It's like, why are they picking on this guy? Why are they picking on Mr. Bill? This isn't nice.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of deal. Like, I used to not be able to watch Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons because I was so mad. It's like, that's not fair. Why does it work for the Roadrunner, but it doesn't work for the Coyote? This isn't funny.
That's how I always felt about Cat Dog when I was a kid. I really wanted to kill Dog. It's like Cat would just want to do a thing, and then Dog would just fuck it up, and it would every time it would get me.
That was just, I'm sorry, that really caught me off guard, that I was not ever expecting to hear that set of sentences. But this first sketch.
Good evening, I'm Joan Face. Welcome again to What If? Each week on the show, we ask a hypothetical question about a specific historical event. Tonight's question, like all our questions, comes from a Mr. Kevin O'Donnell, age 10, a paperboy from Alton, Illinois. Kevin asks, what if Superman grew up in Germany instead of America?
It's interesting, too, because it's like they set up a whole thing around, instead of just doing the sketch.
Yeah.
That they want to do, which is, what if Superman had landed in Germany instead?
Yeah.
They have this setup for, I guess, which the whole point of this setup, this sketch, this recurring sketch, was just to set up a sketch that they needed a trickier way into or something. But It's what if Superman had landed in Germany, and then,
which do you think Grant Morrison and Mark Miller ever saw this sketch?
They have to have. I feel like there's no way they didn't. I don't know why I feel that way, but it just seems like the kind of thing that Grant Morrison would have been very aware of.
Yeah.
I do like in the little setup thing that there's almost like the way the audience is reacting. And the premise for the sketch that sets up the sketch is that it's like a write-in show where the host reads a question to two experts, and the two experts barely get to say anything about an answer, and then they cut, and then they go, well, here's our simulation of how we think that would have gone.
Yeah.
And
the experts in this are Garrett Morris as a general, and then Gilda Radner as a historian and comic book fan.
Yeah, and one of an owner of the largest comic book collection in America. And the way the audience reacts to both that and then like when she starts talking about comic related stuff, it's almost like the joke is, wouldn't it be funny if a girl knew about comics?
Well, Joan, as you know, Superman's father, Jor-El, sent the infant Superman from the planet Krypton toward Earth, where he landed in Kansas sometime around 1930. Superman adopted the values held by his new parents, the Kents: truth, justice, and the American way. Now, had he landed in, say, Prussia, he would have adopted entirely different values.
So what you're saying is that the young Superman may well have become a Nazi.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like what she says, you can tell that there is a comic nerd on staff.
1,000%.
Putting everything into her mouth. I'm just looking up. What If appeared 4 times between seasons 3 and 5. Okay. We have What If Napoleon had a B-52 bomber? What if Eleanor Roosevelt could fly?
Sure.
That's a good sketch, I imagine. There's this one, and then what if Spartacus had a Piper Club? Piper Cub. I don't even know what that means.
I think, is that a kind of plane?
Yes, it is. It's an aircraft.
All right.
So it's kind of going back to the B-52 bomber, but less funny.
So it's do all 4 of them have to do with flying? Or someone that flies?
Yes, they do.
That's crazy. What conspiracy are we getting to the bottom of here?
But so they cut to Germany, and they cut to Michael Palin, the host, as Hitler, doing some Hitler
doing
shtick.
his what you would expect of a Michael Palin Hitler shtick. Which I love Monty Python. It's one of those, even when it's not funny, I still enjoy it. There's just something very cozy and charming to me about the way it looks and just everything about, and just a bunch of people being silly is a lot of fun. And Michael Palin is like probably the most lovable of all of them. So he makes a good comedic Hitler.
He does. And then we're introduced to, which already breaks the what if, because it's not what if Superman was German, it's what if everybody in the Superman cast was German.
The fact that there's all of the Daily Planet counterparts.
Yeah, so there's Nazi Lois Lane as Lorraine Newman. And then we have Al Franken as Jimmy Olsen. And then Dan Aykroyd as Superman. Klaus Kent, who is a good, like, out of this cast, I think he's a good Superman. We're going to see a different Superman when we get to the next one. Time. Yeah. And what was really interesting to me, though, is that this is very Adventures of Superman coded. Like, this is the year after Superman the movie, but bearing
and
one
they definitely
big exception,
do have,
which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But, like, that is, like, Lorraine Newman is styled to look exactly like Noel Neill.
The whole setup, the way the camera, where they play stuff, everything about it is very, you're right. I didn't even think about that as I was watching it. but you're 100% correct.
And I feel like Al Franken was almost chosen because he kind of looks like Jack Larson in a way, to be Jimmy
does.
Olsen.
Yeah, I did not think of it then either, but you're absolutely right.
But yeah, there's I don't know what to say about this. There's a bomb.
we don't. So real quick, it's the idea is that one of the it's like a, what is that, Operation Valkyrie or whatever?
Yes.
Where people within the Nazis were trying to kill Hitler also. But because the Daily Planet propaganda ministry people have shown up, and they don't call him Superman, they call him
Uberman.
Yeah. And the fact that they went through the trouble of putting together a different suit for him, that was the biggest thing. And in the next one as well, I was just that was the first time I had seen so many of those characters in even just a costume at all, not something that looked like a superhero costume, akin to the one in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Even if they're not as good, it's still wow, a superhero on TV.
Yeah.
But then he foils the plan of the people trying to blow up Hitler, and then goes on to do so much worse for the Nazis to make sure they win World War II. But what I want to talk. Go ahead.
No, what do you want to talk about? I was going to
say. This really does get to the thing of, because they do the part where it's like you said, it's very Adventures of Superman coded, but then they do have the bit where he pulls out the crystal, the green crystal from Superman the movie, and is then talking to Jor-El, which is John Belushi doing Jor-El, and I was like, oh, this is a great way just to get his Marlon Brando impression in here.
I was going to say, it's not even John Belushi doing Marlon Brando. It's John Belushi doing The Godfather as Jor-El
in a white wig.
Yeah. There's a gag
great.
That he looks like Charlie Rich, who I had to look up, but does look exactly like Jor-El in that movie. I don't know if you know Charlie Rich.
I don't know who Charlie Rich is.
He's an American country singer, and he looks exactly like Jor-El.
Well, there you go. All right. I recognize that name. I was like, that's probably someone who I should know that as a reference of someone in pop culture. But and then they have Bill Murray as not Jonathan Kent. Whatever. Well, yeah, but he's, no, I mean, but because he's a German.
Oh, yeah.
He's not he's not.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And there's
Vater Kent.
Yeah, and so. And he's trying to. It's like this version of Uberman is trying to decide whether or not he should save Hitler, I guess, from the bomb that's about to go off. He hears the bomb and sees it with his X-ray vision, and then is like, "Hold on, let me go into this closet and consult with my two fathers." I don't know how the other dad is talking through the crystal, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then he has a real hard time trying to get out of the Clark costume into his Superman outfit, which is underneath.
Yeah.
To the point where when he's trying to pull the jacket off, he yanks the cape off as well, and he forgets to take the pants off.
Yeah, the pants get stuck. Classic live TV.
Yeah, you got it. And I'm like, does that kind of thing even come close to happening where it's like that much of a stuff not working on Saturday Night Live these days?
I feel like occasionally.
You think? I just feel like they have so much more money to try to make sure everything, and so many more people and stuff to make sure everything goes smoothly. But who knows? Anyway, and so he does that. But it does bring. It's also funny just seeing him in that outfit and with Michael Palin. Have you seen the Monty Python sketch with Bicycle Repairman?
Yeah,
where it's the world of Superman, and then the one hero is Bicycle Repairman. The thing it did make me go well, this is what to talk about with this, is it really does raise that question. And especially as we've been talking about with Superman 2025, is it's with something like Red Sun, where they go, oh, the goodness of Superman eventually still comes through.
Yeah.
And it's and it really, the nature versus nurture thing is a, I don't know. It's an interesting question to I guess that's why this is such an interesting question that I mean, because because there's no way to know for sure how things work, and this is all fiction, so
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I also wrote it. I was like, it's interesting that they embrace that he got his morals from his birth parents instead of Krypton.
Yeah,
because like Jor-El's trying to talk him out of saving Hitler, and then he imagines his dad, who's like, "You've got to do everything for the fatherland."
Yeah. It's well, it may be a more serious topic than we're prepared to discuss, but
yeah, I mean, what I think I did appreciate about this sketch in particular is what we kind of touched on, which is that this truly feels like some countercultural humor.
yeah,
like,
and that it was obvious who the butt of the joke is.
Yeah,
or all of the people that are the butt of the joke there. And I just couldn't help but kind of like try to imagine if they did this exact same sketch now, like if David Cornsweet hosted Saturday Night Live and they tried to do the same bit or something.
I'm not proud that the X-ray vision joke made me laugh really hard, but it did.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I
also just love the newspaper headline: Uberman kills every person in England.
But even that, there was like a thing in there about like, oh, well then maybe because
every person in England was killed, Israel is now located in England instead of the Middle East.
And the idea that when they came back from the simulation, the general was like, well, it might not have gone that way actually, because we know that kryptonite can kill Superman. So America would have put all of its resources into making a krypton bomb to get rid of him. So I think America still would have won. And I was like, well, that's that tracks.
It's a weird one. This is probably the weirdest of the sketches.
But I think Dan Aykroyd looks like he is really enjoying getting to be Superman.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as much as he enjoys the next one, but
I'm just trying to think if there was any, like, Chevy's gone by this point, but I don't think Chevy would have made a good Superman.
Yeah.
We'll see Bill Murray in a minute. I think Aykroyd's the way to go, especially for like a George Reeves Superman.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he maybe does have more of that the George Reeves style Superman than the Christopher Reeve one. Like Bill Murray's a little bit more personable, maybe.
Bill Murray is playing what if Bill Murray was Superman.
Well, yeah.
I'll get it, Lois. Oh, Sue Storm, the invisible girl. Come on, right in. Hey, Spider-Man, all right.
Spider-Woman, how are you? Hey.
The thing. All right, come on.
Well, yeah.
Let's get to the sketch. We have
all right. So season 4, episode 15.
Yes, and Margot Kidder is the host, which is why they're doing a Superman sketch.
Makes
which is
sense.
Something that is also fun to like look through as these go on. Like how many of these are motivated by the host versus how many of these are just for the love of the game? Because like we see Seinfeld later. That's clearly motivated by the host. The Rock one that we'll see way later is clearly motivated by the host. But like some of these are just like, they had a Superman idea. Let's get it out there.
Yeah. This is the one this is like the most notable one in my mind. Cause I remember seeing this as a little kid on like either the Nick at Night or the Saturday Night Live reruns, where it'd be like the best of Saturday Night Live. So it was just like a hodgepodge of sketches. And this was the first time. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
It was just that this was that thing where it was like, oh my God, look at all of these characters. And the fact that it wasn't just DC characters, it was also Marvel characters too. And that like, I was like, well, they're all in New York where Saturday Night Live is. So of course they got them all to come to this.
Yeah. You have to imagine they just went to Marvel headquarters and borrowed that. Cause I'm like the Spider-Woman costume, the giant thing cut man.
Yeah.
I like that we have Marvel movies. I miss when Marvel characters could just exist in the ether looking like themselves.
Yeah.
Just people in spandex. Like those Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade floats with the Marvel characters. Just even though the one has RoboCop for some fucking
there was a Marvel book.
I know, but like
RoboCop.
he wasn't in the universe. He's not teaming up with Doctor Doom, which is
Not
what
yet.
he does in that for some reason. This sketch is interesting to me because like it's very popular, and I'm sure it like especially 1979 like. You look at it and you go, oh my God, look at all of these superheroes. Like, this is so far beyond anything that we're seeing anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's like, it's not that funny.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
to me, there's less of a like hook to this one than the last one. It's just like, what if a bunch of superheroes were at a party?
Yeah, or it's like, what if a superheroes party was like had the exact same kind of 70s problems that other 70s parties were having?
Yeah.
It's more just played on I mean, the jokes of it are really just like it's funny that this guy talks to ants.
Yeah. What if the Hulk took a big shit?
Yeah.
Do we want to run through who's showing up in here?
Oh, absolutely.
So we've got Dan Aykroyd as the Flash, who is our
he
first
seems to be
guest
having a great time.
I would not be shocked if Dan Aykroyd was a big Flash fan.
I could see him being one of the main comic nerds on the staff.
Yeah. We've got, let's see here. There's a Spider-Man who's masked, so we don't know. Spider-Woman, who I think is Lorraine Newman.
No, she's one of the Lorraine Newman is Cookie, who is the Hulk's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Hulk is John Belushi, just painted green, looking great.
Looking great. And I kind of wish I was going like if they could integrate a little bit of this kind of attitude for the Hulk, like into the character now, like when he's the Hulk. And I mean, I know that's not ever what they're gonna do, but just where he's more of just like just a little bit more John Belushi, I guess. The idea that he's just like a little bit, a little less angry and maybe a little bit more wild.
Yeah. We also get Jane Curtin as Lana Lang, who I think has a very funny bit in this, where she is just like actively flirting with Superman and like antagonistic to.
They got
she comes in just like really sarcastically. How's the luckiest girl in the world?
Yeah, it's like there's a real Betty and Veronica thing between Superman and Lois and Lana.
Yeah,
which is never. I mean, has it ever really been the case in the comics?
I think so. 60s wise.
You think? Just nothing's leaping to mind for me. I'm sure I could just be tired and the thing, but it was like
Lana was more of Superboy's girlfriend.
Yeah, you know, she's more associated with Smallville, even though she's been in Metropolis, you know, many times over the years. Currently is as well, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. She just got married to Steel in the comics.
She had powers for a while.
Yeah, she was Superwoman for a minute. She was married. She was the vice first lady.
I'm sorry, she's married to Steel right now?
Yeah, they just got married, I think, last year.
Okay, sure.
And I reread some like early 2000s Superman comic not too long ago where Pete Ross is the vice president. Yeah. And like Lex Luthor specifically picked him to be a jerk to Superman.
That's good.
It's sort of like he's using Pete and Lana as a buffer between what he wants to do to sort of like keep Superman busy, or, you know, keep him like, hey, come on, Lex is trying to do good stuff. You can't, he's not just a bad guy.
That kind of makes them look really dumb, though.
I think it's more Pete than Lana.
Yeah.
But I also was like, when I was reading this, I was going like, oh, I'm not really sure what else has been going on in the last like 2 or 3 years before this. And then, so I was like, I don't know where their relationships all stand. The issue that I was reading just kind of like jumps into it, like already in the middle of all the things going on with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lana, Spider-Woman, we don't know who that is. Garrett
Invisible
Morris
Girl.
Ant-Man.
Garrett Morris
the
is
Invisible
Ant-Man.
Girl.
It's one thing to make fun. Like, I don't know. I do like the Ant-Man jokes. I love the line, check this guy out. He's got the strength of a human.
Well, I do like that they say that Dan Aykroyd or the Flash then is like, come on, we're just ribbing you. Like, they're not being totally mean about it.
And, I feel like the idea that they know that Ant-Man, when he shrinks, still has the proportional strength of a human is like one layer. I mean, I guess just knowing Ant-Man is one layer above, like again, this is written by comic fans very clearly. It's not just the base, he talks to ants joke. It's he shrinks.
Yeah, that they don't harp on that.
Yeah,
that the joke is that he gets small and then is still as strong as just a normal guy.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I do like the line Superman has where he gets a corkscrew for a housewarming gift. And he goes, this is great. Lately, I've just been sucking the cork out and accidentally drinking the whole bottle.
They also mention Green Lantern several times, but they didn't want to bother making a suit for him, I guess.
I mean, the reason I think that they just went to the Marvel offices and asked for suits is, other than the Flash, we don't have any other DC characters showing up.
That's true. And his is, but that suit looks like, they had to make that for this, I would imagine.
Yeah,
that and the Superman suit, because the Superman suit is not just it's not just like a Christopher Reeve suit.
Yeah,
it's man, you know what my favorite thing about this sketch is? One, we should also say that Thing suit is just incredible that he can hardly get through the door. Cool. It's so big.
He looks like the Lego Thing that has the big.
He
puffy
really does.
Arms.
Yes. Oh man, but the way that Bill Murray, when he's being Superman, I think he does a great job playing it differently. Only slightly, because he's only for a minute or 30 seconds or whatever. But when he's being Clark, he really is trying to have a different. And being Superman, he's being okay, Lois. Well, and then he's doing more, fumbling with his hat and all that kind of stuff. He's trying to do the difference.
He's clearly trying to be more Christopher Reeve than George Reeves.
Yes,
he does the little hops that Christopher Reeve does.
Well, that's what I was going to say is my favorite part about this is the way that every time he has to do something while he's Superman, he tries to put that little bit of super flair to it where it's when he comes into the room at first, when Lois is like, honey, can you come in here or whatever? And he just sort of jumps in. And then when he's going to answer the door, he can't go over he can't run. He can't go really fast. So he just kind of does a little quick leap over there. And it's and then when he goes to fly off, he does that same thing where it's a little bit of a up the steps to the the balcony.
Yeah.
He does those little hops. And it's there's something so that I think just makes you be in a little bit more of a state of play and whimsy is having a cape on, because there was one night after the Superman movie had come out where we were about to meet some people or so, I don't know, but I had come out and I had taken a red towel from the towel closet and the linen closet. What do you call that? I don't know. But I had tucked it into my Superman shirt and walked out and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to go. And just feeling it kind of whooshing around a little bit behind me, just the teensiest little bit as I'm walking around. And I was like, this does make me feel a little bit more. It's it just immediately makes you feel a little bit more like Superman.
Yeah.
And I was it made me feel good. And I was like, I'm just going to start wearing this towel around all the time. And it made me go, maybe I should get one of those expensive cosplay Superman costumes. Maybe that would make me feel good. It's something. And I think that I'm
honestly a little shocked you don't have one.
Well, they're expensive. I don't know if you've checked.
Yeah,
they're very expensive. And it's the kind of thing where, so as a kid, I had, obviously many, many Halloweens as Superman. And a bunch of those were in the crappy, plastic smocks with the face mask that you could stick
Sticking
your tongue out through the little slit. Yeah. Which are great. I have so much nostalgia for those now, but I was like, I just always wanted a real Superman costume, to the point there was actually in elementary school, it was probably like, I think 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade. We were supposed to write a letter as like a class project. We were supposed to write a letter to like a celebrity or something like that. It was like our teacher was going to try to find how, like, an address that we could send these to, even if it was like to the movie studio or the TV network or whatever. Mm-hmm. And but mine was to Christopher Reeve. But in the letter, it was like one of the main things in there was I was like, how can I get a Superman costume? That's really all I want. And then
Chris, hook me up.
And then also to the point where then one year after I had been, all I wanted was a good Superman costume. My cousin that raised me decided she was going to get the costume pattern. Like, we had to go to the fabric store or something, and they had, that year was like the costume pattern for a Superman costume. Mm-hmm. And the picture on the front of this thing is just like, makes you go, wow, I'm really going to look like Superman. And without telling you that, like, that's if you buy the exact right materials that they're using for this. And also some of the stuff is still never going to work the way you want it to, because it's like the emblem is an iron-on.
Yeah.
And on the picture on the front of the pattern, it's like bright and vibrant. And it's like, in retrospect now, I know it's like no iron-on is going to come off that vibrant like that. But anyway, but I was like, oh my God, please, we've got to get this. And then, so Peggy, who's my cousin that raised me, she gets me this, and she's like, okay, I'm going to make you this costume. And I'm just like, so excited. I was like, this is it. It's going to be it's going to fit me just like Superman. And then, of course, she's like, the stuff that it's saying to use for the materials, she's like, that's too expensive. We're going to use some cheaper material. And it's like, so it's not the right shade of blue. And it's like a awful, like the feeling of it's like polyester or something. I don't know. It just felt terrible, and it was hot. Yeah. And it was like the like the underwear are made out of one material. The boots are made out of some other material. The cape is made out of something else. When she's going to iron the Superman S on there, she accidentally forgets to cut it out all the way, and so there was like a little test thing that was still on there. So you've got the Superman S, too small even for a child size, too small on the middle of my chest, also too low down, like literally in the middle of my chest. Yeah, it's like half on chest, half on stomach. Maybe not quite that bad, but it was like still, everything about it, I was like, nothing has worked out like I wanted it to. It's uncomfortable. It's like the belt is supposed to be made out of something else. And she's like, well, I can just make this out of ribbon. And it's like, so it's all this stuff where I'm just like, okay, but I've still got to wear it because she's put all this work into it. And like, even as like a 8-year-old or whatever, I still know, I was like, okay, I need to be appreciative of this because someone put a lot of work into it, even if it doesn't. It's like,
man, those feelings stay with you for your life, don't they?
Boy, they sure do. And
God, I just have so many memories like that where I'm just like, yep, I remember that disappointment.
Yep, but you just got to go with it. And it's like, well, this has to be what your costume is this year.
Yeah.
But because of that, because of all of those things, having never had like a real something that makes me feel like I put this on and I feel like I'm Superman. I've never had that. And because of that, I've just kind of decided, it's the thing. It's like, if I'm ever going to get a Superman costume, it's like, I want it to be something that really I put it on and it makes me feel like Superman. And if it's not going to do that, if it's going to make me feel like, wow, I'm just very aware of how out of shape I am, or anything like that, I'm just like, if I don't put it on and feel like Superman, I don't want it. So that's really,
I always look at those Halloween costumes with like the built-in muscles that have like the trunks just like drawn on, but like they're weird and they're like down your legs. My friend and I, we decided to go as the Tick and Batman from the live action Tick series.
Which one?
1 year. The early 2000, Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton. Okay.
The one with Batman in it. And his mom sewed him a Tick outfit using a Batman Returns pattern that she had like found at some like sewing shop. So I mean, that was there's like a decade between these two things. But she's like, this is a bodysuit, it'll work.
And did it?
It did, yeah. We were the Tick and Batman and we looked great. I sewed a leopard print cod piece into my outfit.
Maybe that's the thing. That's really what it is that if I'm ever going to have this, it's like what needs to happen is I need to make it myself.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have any experience in doing that kind of a thing. I don't know how to sew or I don't know. Well, anything really, but maybe that's like the trial,
magic pudding.
That's like the thing you have to go through in order for me to earn the Superman costume is like, I have to make it myself. So it'll probably never happen.
Are we ready to move on to sketch number 3?
Is there any part of that we missed of any of the characters? Yeah, that seems good.
It kind of fizzles out after once
just like the
lowest, once the lowest Superman like conflict enters. They just don't really have a way to end the sketch. So
the idea, the idea that that Lois and Superman would get married, but she doesn't know that he's Clark.
Yeah,
seems like a tough road to go down.
Yeah.
I would say Margot Kidder seems. I don't know what she's like on the rest of that episode because that's literally the only sketch from it I think I've seen.
Yeah.
But she seems a little. I don't even know if it's nervous, but it just seems like a little bit like she's not fully. She does not really seem especially like Lois. She seems like a person who is trying very hard to not mess up.
I wonder if she was like, oh God, this is what you, because like this is, she's not promoting a Superman. I think she's promoting Amityville Horror.
Oh, okay.
Just like, oh, am I going to be Lois Lane in the pop memory forever?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny also that they have her wearing a wig, despite the fact that she is Lois Lane already.
Yeah, but I guess she just didn't. Maybe she didn't have that Lois hair anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say I've always, this is incredibly picky of me, but my mom agrees. But my mom also has weird opinions about things. I feel like her makeup in the Donner Superman movies, I'm always just like, you guys made weird choices. Like, she's a beautiful woman, but you've made weird choices in the makeup department.
Yeah. Whenever we get around to watching Superman 2 and the Donner cut of Superman 2, I think we'll have more data points to discuss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see her in the like reused footage from the audition, and you're like, hey, she looks great here.
That first scene with her in the Daily Planet, I think is like, well, you figured it out. You had a good thing going here.
Yeah.
And when, like you said, well, I mean, and in the stuff, have you ever seen Black Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh man, that movie's great. But she's so great in it. Like, it's hard to believe. Like, you went from this. Well, I mean, and Sisters also, but that like going from that to Superman. So that's a big step up.
Yeah. All right, we got season 10, episode 16. The year is 1985. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So on the that's what Dan said.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what Dan said. But on the YouTube, on the Saturday Night Live thing, it said it's season 8. And I tried. I just counted from if season 4 is 1979. I was like, it makes more sense that season 8 would be 1984 as opposed to season 10. I don't know how it would have gotten to season 10 that quick.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Let me look here. Season 8, Saturday Night Live. Well, I am not seeing a Christopher Reeve appearance in season 8.
Maybe they did more than one season a year, and that's how it worked. But I just know that on the Saturday Night Live YouTube explanation or description for it, it said it's season 8. And honestly, I trust Dan to be right more than whatever intern was setting up the Saturday Night Live YouTube, but I did just notice the discrepancy.
Unless Christopher Reeve hosted multiple times. Christopher Reeve hosted in season 10. Yeah, I'm not seeing any season 8 Christopher Reeve appearance. So,
well, maybe there was more than one season a year or something. I just want to say we've covered both bases.
Yeah, season 8 is 83, according to this,
and season
10 is 85.
This says 84.
Well, it's 84 to 85 is the season 10, but Christopher Reeve hosted in the back half.
It does say episode 16. I guess none of this is really important, except if you're trying to hunt this down to watch it. And this is one of the ones that's just on YouTube, so you don't have to find the exact episode.
Yeah, and
sorry, I've derailed
cast.
Things.
No, I because the cast of season 10 also matches.
Okay,
the cast in this, so I think.
Well, then Dan, you're right. You're more right than the Saturday Night Live official YouTube channel is.
This is the last of the Dick Ebersol years.
The battle years.
Right, yeah, right before Lorne Michaels took over again. This was known as the All-Star year because it's when they brought on Billy Crystal and Christopher.
They tried to bring
Guest.
a bunch of ringers in.
Yeah, didn't work.
Which it's funny though because there's like such memorable stuff from that. You know.
Do you know who hosted immediately before this?
I do not.
It's a twofer host, 2 people hosting. I don't know if they've ever done that before.
It's Bill and Ted.
Mr. T and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, because of WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's just weird. I didn't realize
they were doing that to that was part of the big promotion for, I guess, the first WrestleMania.
Wow.
Well, I'm curious to see how that turned out.
Okay, thank you all for coming back. You've been very patient. As you know, we've auditioned thousands of actors for the role of Superman, and we've narrowed it down to you 3. So, one of you will be our new Man of Steel. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the man who'll be directing the picture. This is Richard Donner. And he would like to see all of you together, you know, to compare you and so on before he makes his final decision. Okay?
Mr. Donner, my name's Corey Meredith, and I'd just like to say I've seen all your films. I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, I think we found our Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, why don't we start with you? You're,
Christopher Reeve.
Okay, Chris. All right, let's try page 37, all right? Rachel, can you read Lois for me, please?
Surely.
So this is the sketch, and this is another one of the ones where, I've seen it. It's one of the ones that does get play.
Yep.
Where the idea is that it's back in 1977 where they're doing the auditions for Superman, and the final 3 guys are Christopher Reeve and 2 other guys who I think this is a good bit. Jim Belushi playing Dick Donner is I think he does a good job of at least kind of having the vibe of Dick Donner.
It's not quite Keegan-Michael Key playing Joe Dante in that Gremlins 2 sketch where you look at him, you're like, Jesus Christ, how did they make this man look exactly like Joe Dante? But
it gets enough of it.
They give him the glasses. They do. Yeah. I appreciate when they attempt to make a director who nobody knows what he looks like look like him.
Yeah. And then Julia Louis-Dreyfus, it's just so interesting to see her doing this like bit part in this, but she does it great. Everybody in this I think this is a great sketch. I mean, as far as Superman sketches go, one where they're like, we got to do something with Christopher Reeve, but they've already used all the good ideas when he was on the Muppet Show. So
the hook is that it's 3 men auditioning for Superman, but the audition process requires that they essentially have Superman abilities, and they're like auditioning your tactfulness with them.
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeve is the least practiced. The second guy, who I actually don't know what
Rich
guys
Hall.
remember that. Is that Rich Hall?
Rich Hall? Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was the suck up.
No, that's Gary Kroger.
This is just so outside of my.
Don't
This is
worry.
the first time I've heard
for.
either of those names in my life. So
Rich Hall was someone who like actually went on to sort of like more acclaim, I think, after Saturday Night Live, because he like had his own stuff and like he was like a fairly popular sort of like sort of like a safe counterculture comedian in the mid 80s.
yeah.
And like, because I'm trying to think of like how to describe what he was like. Very like understated. He's like he's kind of like in the same vein a little bit as a Joel Hodgson.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of like in similar circles back then.
Okay.
I know a lot about that period of comedy, not from Saturday Night Live, but from hearing Joel Hodgson talk about it in like the history of Mystery Science Theater kind of things.
Oh, gotcha.
And but yeah, but Rich Hall was someone who, I mean, he had books and stuff that were bestsellers, basically joke books.
Yeah.
Gary Kroger, I don't know. I know him from Saturday Night Live, and that's it.
He ran for
the joke
Iowa
being
Senate.
Wow. Okay.
lost.
He's no Charles Rocket.
Yeah.
Don't
Man,
Google Charles Rocket.
Oh, is he?
He didn't do any. No, he had a very
yeah.
tragic ending.
I just saw him in a movie and I was like, he is the perfect person for, like, he's the villain in It's Pat. But he was also the villain in some other comedy movie I was watching recently. I'm like, this man was born to be the villain in like these mid-level comedies.
Yeah. He's the dad in Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I said,
I'm not a Hocus Pocus fan.
Oh really?
It's fine.
Interesting.
I think it's a Halloween movie for people who don't like horror movies. So like I accept and appreciate that, but even as a kid, it never did a lot for me.
Interesting. I'm just saying it's interesting like that, not because I'm like I do love Hocus Pocus. Like I saw it at the right time to be like, oh, I'm gonna always probably have happy memories of this. Of renting this VHS and then going, like, this was a fun, not scare me Halloween movie. Yeah. Even though I did like scary movies, but I was still like a big scaredy cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is that Christopher Reeve obviously is Superman, but that he's bad at everything. They're not impressed with him.
Yeah.
Rich Hall is the guy that's like very underplays everything and does the same stuff. Like the first bit is they just read a line with Julia Louis-Dreyfus as the doing Lois's lines or whatever. And then the second thing in the audition is, all right, you got to do the scene where Clark catches the bullet in his teeth. And the joke is that Christopher Reeve has the Superman powers, but can't catch the bullet. It's like it ricochets off his teeth, it ricochets off his chin. And Rich Hall can do it. He catches the bullet, no problem, and does a cool like sort of magic trick of how he does that thing to take the bullet out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But he's just very like underplays everything. And then the third guy is like he's like a suck up to Richard Donner. But he's also like really trying to play it.
Yeah. And then he gets shot and dies.
He gets shot in the face.
That's a good gag. I like that.
Yeah. And then they do the bit with the squeezing the coal into a diamond, which is from Superman
Reeve
3.
Keeps turning it into liquid.
He just liquefies it. And then Rich Hall has another good sleight of hand thing there with that. I mean, it's not really sleight of hand. They probably got it in something. But the way that he just comes, he's like, no, look, you got to do easy. What is it like? Consistent
equal
pressure,
equal
pressure.
Like that,
yeah, something like that. That's fun. But then he can't be Superman because he's got a callback for a Dial soap commercial. I don't know. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's a good little gag. It's I wonder what Christopher Reeve was promoting here. 85. Is it Death Trap? Maybe. Have you ever seen Death Trap? Him and Michael Caine.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I remember the cover to it vividly from the DVD, because it was a thing that never, like, I would just always see it work when I worked at Best Buy, and
Yeah.
Best Buy still sold DVDs.
Uh,
And it was the kind of thing where I was going, I should watch this sometime.
It's really good, man.
Is it? Okay.
It's really good. You should watch Death
right.
Trap.
I've watched, what is that one, that Christopher Reeve movie where he's like a reporter? It's like Street Smarts or something like that.
Yeah. That's why he did Superman 4.
Oh, because they would, yeah.
Man, Street Smarts, we'll get into this, I guess, one day. It freaked me out about, like, the whole movie is like he needs to like turn in his notes because he like lied about a story, but yada yada yada. And when I was a journalist, there was a reporter who was being sued for libel, and part of it was he had to turn in all of his notes, and like lawyers would be like, "Okay, well, you didn't write down the word 'the' here, but you quoted it in the paper with the word 'the,' like ah." And I was just like, oh, man, they used to just panic. I'm like, I don't know if I can't imagine I'm going to get sued, but like our rule at the paper was like either never throw out your notebooks or throw them out on like the first of the month every month, because like if you say you threw them out like right before they come for them, that's bad. Yeah. But if you can like establish, yes, first of the month, I always throw away my notebooks.
Clean all this stuff out. Yeah.
So that's just that's a journalism sidebar.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to our full journalism episode when we get to that. We talked about earlier today, like how ready to go with that Jacob is.
Oh God. But yeah, these are the first 3 Superman sketches. They're pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's several different approaches to Superman, and it'll be interesting to kind of see. I think by the time we get to the end of this, we'll be able to see like really, here's the only approaches a sketch show can come up with for Superman.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it falls into like a couple of different categories. And I think right here, we've got they're sort of 3 different categories of what you can do with a Superman sketch on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see how many other ways they can add, or how far they deviate from these, or if it stays just basically in this mold.
Is Christopher Reeve the only Superman actor to host Saturday Night Live?
I'd have to imagine.
Because Brandon Routh certainly didn't.
Yeah. No offense. Henry Cavill didn't.
Dean Cain didn't.
Terry Hatcher did.
Why didn't they do let's see. Why didn't they do a Superman sketch with her? Yeah, she hosted with the Dave Matthews Band in the heart of Superman time.
Yeah.
And
the thing is,
Terry Hatcher.
If they can, well, I mean, we certainly can. If we can get, I think that if the situation if the things could line up for David Cornsweet to do it, I think he's the kind of guy that would both have a lot of fun doing it and would be very good at it, because he seems to be so versatile from all of his theater work.
Yeah.
And like, have you watched any of those? Here. All right. Now that we're a little bit out of this, we can start talking about other Superman stuff from the past week. Did you see the audition tape he sent in? Yeah. Oh, man. And the fact that it's like, one, he's great in it. It's, it's not all there yet, but it's like, you can see why James Gunn, what he saw in him. But the idea that he sent that in thinking there's no way I'm going to get this. And it's like, what are you talking about? Look at you.
You're Superman.
You look just like him. You're Superman.
It's so good.
But have you seen any of those, like the old YouTube sketches that him and his buddy did as like, I don't know, teenagers or 20-somethings or something?
No.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I'll have to find some of that to send you. It's silly. But it's just funny, like seeing going like, oh, yeah, this guy would I bet he would love to be on Saturday Night Live.
It pisses me off that we have so many actors who love musical theater and are great singers and dancers and we're not making musicals to put them in.
Yeah.
Put Hugh Jackman, Tom Holland, and David Corenswet in a goddamn musical. That's all I want. Like, come on.
They can wear capes or whatever. Look,
I just do it, man. I mean, I know Hugh Jackman's had a musical or two, but like,
yeah,
Channing Tatum, get them all in a dance, like make them tap dance next to each other. It's all people. I'm a big tap musical fan, and it kills me that we don't make tap musicals anymore, except for 10 minutes of Hail Caesar.
Well, it's funny, yeah, because when you said Channing Tatum, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah,
I was like, well, he sort of did something.
Yeah. Just looking over this Terry Hatcher episode, there is a sketch we might want to add to the rotation that is like Superman and Jace.
Okay.
Not to say anything about your wonderful compiling, Dan. This is just I could see how this would get missed in the pile.
Yeah. All right. I'd be into that. We can add it in there if you want to slot it into that document.
Yeah, it's a monologue, so
oh, well, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And that also makes sense why it would have not come up in like a normal search of what he'd be looking for.
Yeah. But so you watched Peacemaker, right?
I did. Superman related stuff only I'm going to talk about, but within the first one, they handle all of the explaining the difference between this and that with like season 1 and season 2 of Peacemaker. They basically just within the first minute kind of like very deftly just kind of like, yeah, okay, look, this is what's happening. Don't worry about anything, blah, blah, blah.
Thank God.
But not only do we get that little scene that you've probably already seen some of with Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Maxwell Lord interviewing Peacemaker to join the Justice Gang. We also get another thing with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern and the Justice Gang and Superman and Supergirl. And I mean, it's very brief and you don't really see them, but it was just the idea of going like, that's them floating there.
Yeah.
It's very excited to know this is really, and there's also stuff in there that's like, tying into like, Rick Flag is talking about the Luthor incident and, portal universes and things like that. And like, cause this all takes place, this, first episode basically takes place. It starts, like 6 months, I guess, before Superman.
Okay.
And then there's like a 6 month time jump that's happening right after basically the stuff with Superman has just happened.
Remember how the Netflix Marvel shows couldn't like actually say anything? So Battle in New York was always just like,
yeah.
Ever since that incident or whatever the fuck
that
they would
New York
call it
incident. Yeah. And I will say though, it's like when the show first came on, it had up at the top, TVMA at the beginning, and it's like, usually when they have that stuff, it's like TVMA language, alcohol, violence or something. It just said TVMA smoking, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe they really toned it down this season because because it's coming on the heels of Superman, or I was like, or maybe they've really toned down this first episode to be like a lot less crazy because of that. And I was like, maybe they're trying to have this be a little bit more all ages friendly, or at least more, I don't know. But the fact that it just said smoking really set me up for some huge surprises, because holy moly, is there a lot of nudity and then some.
I've heard about this part at least.
Yeah, I was completely caught off guard by that, because I was just like, they've said it's just going to be smoking.
It was just
and
smoking.
Then holy moly. But it was like, I mean, and there is smoking, to be fair. There definitely was some smoking in the show, but that is not all, man. But it's also, it's like, maybe goes further than I would have thought to put in a show that's taking place in the same. There's a point where I just like looked over and was like, this is the same world with Superman. Like, is this a bit much? But at the same time, it's like, and I listened to the first episode of the Peacemaker podcast about season 2, which was neat. And to just kind of hear them talking about it, and you go like, oh, okay, I get sort of, it makes a little bit more sense what he was going for.
And like, people were doing it in the same world that Mr. Rogers existed.
Yeah, of course. But I just, that smoking thing really caught me, made me have my expectations set incorrectly. But I'd say my favorite thing from the Peacemaker podcast was there's a point in there where they're talking about how, okay, this takes place after Superman. And so this is, and they're the people that are the guests on that one. And then Steve Agee and who's like one of the regular co-hosts on there with James Gunn and Jennifer Holland. He's saying how they got to go to the Superman set, and him and Tim Meadows, I think, were there, and James was like, do you want to meet Superman? And they're like, yeah, of course. And then he just, after a second, David Corenswet comes out and he's in the suit and everything. And they're just like, oh my God. And they were saying like they couldn't even talk to, they're just like, oh, it's really nice to meet you, that kind of thing. And then after he left, they went outside and they were just kind of like grabbing each other and going like, I felt like I actually just met Superman.
That's awesome.
And that's just, that was really great. I loved the first season of Peacemaker. I'm wearing my Lauren Moran, John Cena Peacemaker mashup t-shirt that she made. And I am also, folks, she made if you like Superman, she made a great Kindness is the New Punk Rock World Tour Superman shirt that I think is up for pre-order still at the moment on her website, or follow her. You can find her on Instagram, Lauren Moran, Moran, or we'll put it in the notes. But it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking shirt. I remember when you first reposted it, I was like, it's awesome.
But you told me too that you have been. I don't watch Superman if you don't like don't watch Peacemaker if you don't like R-rated stuff. But
I think I've told this on Twitter before, but one of my favorite memories of being a youth is watching James Gunn scripted Romeo and Juliet in my friend's basement. And then halfway through, his dad comes in and is like, you guys watching porn?
He tells a story about making Romeo and Juliet on this first episode of the season 2.
Because
podcast.
It's just, it's a grimy looking movie, and it was a very explicit sex scene. And then my friend's dad was like, after he was like, oh, okay. And then he ended up just like sitting down and watching the rest of it with us.
Thanks for making it weird, friend's dad.
No, it was great. I loved him being there.
All right, cool.
At that point in my life, I was trying to get as many people to see Troma movies as I could. So,
well, that's admirable, I'll say. I loved the first season of Peacemaker. Second season's off to a good start. I want to see more of this. I think there's going to be more. I'm expecting to see Superman again. Maybe I'll be disappointed.
Can't wait to catch up.
Yeah. But then you said, what's the Superman stuff you've been interacting with this past week?
So I've been reading through my because I had finished the Byrne era of my post-crisis, so I just was like, let's keep going, because the Brainiac omnibus is coming to bridge between the Exile and the Triangle era. So I'm reading the Exile era now, and Superman, he's in space. He's going a little crazy. He's thinking he's Gangbuster. I like Gangbuster, even though I think Gangbuster's costume is very stupid. I don't like his little fist on his chest, or his like rugby helmet he wears.
Yeah,
like I think he's a
costume design is that's because that's like a Dan Jurgens design. I think
that's Ordway still, because he's
really?
like an exclusively Adventures of Superman character.
Oh, maybe okay. I also like what I'm remembering that from. Maybe that I'm just like put the two of them so close together in my brain, but.
And I like that he like.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Agent Liberty as maybe a Dan Jurgens design.
I like I like Gangbuster. I think he's I think that is like a relationship with Lois that I buy into more. Like, I'm just thinking about how we were talking about the New 52 and
Oh yeah,
Jonathan. No,
yeah. I think that's right.
Jonathan.
Wait,
Why did they name him Jonathan? Superman's dad. And
real
son,
kick in the
like,
teeth to Superman.
but like Jose at least has like a character, and then I like that like his second time trying to do anything, he gets paralyzed for life. If you haven't read these stories, Superman is like, it's creators trying to do the best they can with the like shit that John Byrne left him with. Because
what would you say? Okay, so for people that haven't read that, and for me who has not read it in a long time, what would you say? What is the situation that John Byrne has left the super office with?
So specifically, it is Superman has executed General Zod and 2 other Kryptonians from a pocket universe where they have completely destroyed Earth and killed everyone in that universe. And in order to stop them from coming to our universe one day, he can't trust to lock them up, so he robs them of their powers with gold kryptonite and then uses green
Wouldn't that be enough?
to just kill them. And I don't love that for Superman.
Yeah.
But I do like that there's a thing that in comics I like when creators play the ball where it lies. Where we're not going to retcon, we're not going to go back and say this never it's all right, this shitty thing happened. What do we do with that? And
where can we go from there?
The creators here, I think, do a very admirable job of, instead of making that just like a horrible thing, it is now the catalyst for a story where they're going to explore that part of Superman for a very long time, for years in the books.
Yeah.
So first he starts to have a mental breakdown. It turns out he's dressing up like Gangbuster, and like Superman Gangbuster is really cool too. I don't know. He's like, he's got that more kind of like 40s rabble rousing, just like, I'm going to fucking scare you energy that I think Superman sometimes is missing in this era. So I just like seeing it there. But then when he realizes that he's having like a psychotic break, he's like, can't be on Earth anymore. I'm just going to go to space. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
And so in that, there's 2 things that I wanted to talk about that I was reading and that I like a lot. And it's the backups of the Luthor business takeover of Star Labs. Do you remember that? So it's like each issue ends with like, I don't know, 6 pages of just like Lex Luthor like business scheming. And this is just something I love of this era of Superman comics, which is that the deep bench of side characters is like so rich that like Superman can be off planet, but we can still do stories in Metropolis, that feel like Superman stories, even though he's not here to be a part of them. And then it all really comes to a head in the middle of that, where they have an issue where Mxyzptlk attacks Metropolis and doesn't realize Superman's not there.
Is that the one where there's the giant Superman on the cover?
Yeah.
That was one of the first Superman comics that I ever like bought with my money. That cover was so cool to me.
That had to be disappointing.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Mxyzptlk, I think it even says on the cover, he's like, this doesn't really happen in this issue, but with me around, you never know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just love the idea of that there is a Superman issue where on no panel does Superman actually appear. And it is, as I say this, it sounds whatever, but Lex Luthor has to figure out how to get rid of Mxyzptlk. That's a good hook. That could be a Superman the Animated Series episode to me.
Yeah. I don't even remember that happening in the issue. I was just so like, that cover is the thing that has stayed with me the most. I was just like, this is such a cool drawing of Superman. I remember putting, like trying to trace that.
Oh man.
Just that Superman just looks so big and cool in that. But yeah, you're right. How disappointed I was by the rest of what happens in that issue is probably the reason why I don't remember any of it.
Well, you should go back if you still have the issue laying around anywhere. It's it's a fun
I'm sure I
where Lex realized somebody's like, oh yeah, Mxyzptlk, because post-crisis Mxyzptlk, his thing is that you have to win whatever game he pitches, not just say his name backwards, which I like. It lets you do more stories with him. And so Lex is like, oh, so he's like honest, and they're like, yeah, honestly, we don't know if he even knows about lying. And Lex is like, all right, great. It's just, I don't know. I think that's a really fun story that I love a single issue story, and I love a single issue story with that kind of hook.
Well, I'm anxious to go. I'm excited to, not anxious, excited to go read that issue again and see how it holds up for me now.
But yeah, that's my summer with Superman.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about future plans? Do we want to talk off
we
show?
certainly can. I mean, well, we can say that let's say that we are at least right now we are actively discussing as the summer is quickly coming to a close. We're actively discussing sort of what happens next, because
name, format, everything.
Yeah. This is the absolutely both been one of the highlights of my week every week, but certainly one of the highlights of my year with this year of Superman. And I would be I'd be lying if I said hold on, I think I'm going to double negative myself into saying something I didn't mean to. I'm happy to keep doing this forever. I love talking to Superman. I love talking to you about Superman. I'm happy to talk to you about whatever, we whatever stuff we get into. But I guess we can leave that for.
There's so much Superman we haven't touched.
We really just
we're not going
scratched
anywhere,
the surface.
folks.
Yeah, hooray!
We've had some pitches for possible name changes. Both from listeners and us, and we'll figure it out.
And I think there's good stuff in both. I've heard some ideas that I liked to the point where it's also kind of going like, oh boy, I don't know. It's not so much like which one are we going to do. It's like, oh, I don't know how to pick between these good options.
Maybe it'll just be we change names every episode.
I
read in a book that's the best way to build a podcast audience.
It's just
consistently change your name.
Yeah, that works.
It's like the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show. Or whatever.
Oh man! Oh, every week it's a different. And was it that it was like getting longer each time?
Yeah.
Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we still got so much SNL to talk.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we've got another another 9 of these to get through at least. Who knows what other stuff we're gonna find. That somehow is Superman adjacent. But I mean, also, good Lord, we've only talked about one of the Christopher Reeve movies. We still haven't touched Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman.
We can wait.
Which end we don't have to ever. But but speaking of SNL, you talked about this. I don't know if we want to talk, but that 50th anniversary Superman thing.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. I would love to talk about that. But that's also one where it's like. But that's like in the same space for me as that the TV version of the musical, where it's like both incredible to me and I love that it exists, and also it's like what a confusing, disappointing, conflicting thing for a little kid to be so excited about and then not quite understand what the joke was.
Yeah. I kind of want to wrap it into the SNL stuff since it has so much, like Lorne Michaels produced it. It's got SNL writers. Dana Carvey's in it.
Did you know that one of the writers, well, I'm sure you did because you're the one that sent me the link to the Wikipedia on it, but the idea that Bruce McCulloch was one of the writers on that. And I was like, wait, and that he was a writer for SNL for one season before Kids in the Hall. That was news to me.
Did you watch that Kids in the Hall doc that's on Amazon Prime?
No, I haven't watched it yet, and it's crazy because
really
I was actually
good.
I can't. I have something else I want to say something to you about, but it will spoil something. We'll come back after.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to this after after you've watched that movie I told you about.
Oh yeah, okay. That'll be like 2 days, so we'll catch up.
Okay, fantastic,
folks. Until next time, live from New York, it's Superman Live.